Tonight, the tense return to Parliament. The testy exchanges and clashes in the Commons after summer break.
Instead of a reckless plan, why not allow Canadians to vote to axe the tax?
What would cost the most money to Canadians at all is his do-nothing climate plan.
And twin political tests tonight for the NDP and Liberals as voters cast their ballots in two crucial by-elections. Loosening mortgage rules. But will it bring down prices?
Driver! Walk straight back!
The new body cam video of the man accused in the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and the Secret Service under fresh scrutiny. Plus, the new AI tool linked with decreased deaths at a Canadian hospital. And the small town banking a big win.
To have that happen, I was like, oh, absolutely no way. But yes, way.
Parents of a newborn in Northern Ontario with 70 million reasons to celebrate.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. Two political parties faced critical tests tonight in two separate by-elections. One in Montreal in a riding the Liberals are trying to keep, and the other in Winnipeg in a riding the NDP was trying to hold on to. And late tonight, the party maintained its stronghold in Elmwood-Transcona. CTV's Jeff Keel is there at NDP headquarters. And Jeff, give us a sense of what the mood is like there tonight.
Well, it's pretty loud here. Their celebration is underway as the NDP are declaring victory here in Elmwood-Transcona. Leela Dance, the candidate, ahead of closest rival Conservative Colin Reynolds. She started out in the night with about a 300-vote lead, and then from there gradually grew that lead. Dance arriving here about 20 minutes ago, where she addressed her cheering supporters.
I promise to make you all so proud of me, and I will see you in Ottawa.
Now, Dance also saying that she really felt that she had a lot of support, not just from the federal party, because Leader Jagmeet Singh was here multiple times, but also from the provincial NDP. She thanked those supporters as well. She said for her priorities, cost of living and food prices is something she is going to tackle. And as you can hear and see behind me, the celebration is continuing here at NDP headquarters as they are declaring victory tonight.
All right, Jeff, thank you. And let's get to CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin, who is tracking another critical by-election in Montreal in the riding of La Salle and Marc Verdun. And Jen, a very long night and still a tight race there.
Still ongoing, Omar, and analysts had said that it would be perhaps a three-way race, that it would certainly be suspenseful, and it has been so all night. Now it does seem as though it's turned into a two-way race, but with the Bloc Québécois now in the lead and the Liberal Party in second. If indeed the Bloc Québécois were to gain that seat, it would be gaining ground on the island of Montreal, which would be a big deal for the Bloc Québécois. But for the Liberal Party, it would of course be a disappointment. This is a riding that has long been a red riding, of course. There are changes to the delineations here. There are demographic changes, as the party says, but indeed this is a riding that the Liberals would like to hold on to. It's still very close at this moment. They'll be watching the results very closely to see what unfolds here and just how tight it will be, but they'll also be looking to see if indeed this is a message that will be sent to Ottawa, to the federal party. But again, as I say, there's still a few more ballots to count, and with right now the Bloc Québécois still in the lead, Omar.
And just 136 votes separating the Bloc Québécois and the Liberals at this hour. Jen, thank you. Those by-elections are coinciding with the return of politicians to Parliament who went back today after the summer break. CTV's Michael Couture with the confrontations in the Commons.
The honourable leader of the opposition. After a 12-week break, Pierre Poilievre picked up right where he left off with his attacks on the Trudeau government.
Instead of a reckless plan to hike the tax to 61 cents a litre, why not allow Canadians to vote to axe the tax?
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was defending the Liberal plan while questioning what the Conservatives would do.
Here's a news flash for the Conservative leader. Climate change costs money, and what would cost the most money to Canadians at all is his do-nothing climate plan.
Last week, Jagmeet Singh said he's working on his own plan that wouldn't include a consumer carbon price. And the Liberals pounced on it.
Who will stick up for Gen Zs? Who will stick up for millennials? Who will stick up for the planet? The Liberal government? The Liberal Party will? Because clearly Jagmeet Singh will not.
It's only day one and the tone is already tense. After tearing up the supply and confidence agreement, Jagmeet Singh was not in question period because he was feeling under the weather, according to the NDP. But earlier, Singh made it clear his party and the Liberals are no longer political partners.
Justin Trudeau teamed up with Pierre Poilievre to shut down the plan that would have lowered the price of groceries. Instead, they voted to keep the price of groceries high and protect the corporate grocery stores.
Despite that, Singh and the NDP aren't looking to take down the government yet. New Democrats say they will look at each confidence motion before the House and then decide whether or not to support the Liberal government, which leaves the Bloc Québécois.
I am not in the business of keeping this government in place. I am as hurried and impatient as anybody to go into election. Our numbers seem to be pretty good.
Still, Blanchet is considering leveraging the opportunity to benefit Quebec. But that doesn't change the fact that an election is more likely to happen than it was 12 weeks ago. Omar.
All right, Mike, thanks. And let's bring in CTV's chief political correspondent, Vassy Kapelos. Vassy, I want to get your reaction to the results we're seeing coming out of Winnipeg and Montreal so far tonight. Let's start with Winnipeg and Jagmeet Singh likely breathing a significant sigh of relief tonight.
Yeah, this is a huge win for the NDP, Omar. I think for a couple of reasons. First of all, yes, the Conservatives were able to mount a bigger challenge to New Democrats. It's one of those ridings that everyone was paying attention to because it could go blue or orange, but though they've closed the vote gap, they obviously didn't win. The NDP did, and that's a big victory for New Democrats. I would also say that it comes just a few weeks after Jagmeet Singh decided to rip up his deal with the Liberals. A lot of people at the time said, hey, is this political opportunism because of this by-election? It looks like Jagmeet Singh's gamble really paid off for him. And New Democrats over in Montreal, oh my goodness, what a nail-biter. This is coming down, it looks like, to the Liberals and the Bloc Québécois. The Liberals won this seat by a massive margin in 2021. So even the fact that they're fighting it out, I think, informs what the story will be tomorrow. Though, if they do pull it off, a win is still a win is a win is a win, Omar.
Yeah, that race still too close to call. Lots of political news to get to today. The Liberals also loosening the rules on mortgages today, Vassy, coinciding with the return to Parliament, of course, but also coming at a time when they're behind in the polls. Will this give them the boost, the lift that they're looking for?
Yeah, that's a big question, Omar. A number of months ago when the federal budget was tabled, they did introduce some original or initial loosening of mortgage rules. But what they've done here really expands on that quite substantially. They're trying to reach a broader swath of Canadians and punch through on an issue that really matters to so many people who are confronted with affordability challenges. Whether they're actually able to do that, I think time will tell, Omar.
All right, Vassy, thank you. There are questions about whether the changes could actually push prices up. For a closer look at those new mortgage rules, here's CTV's Heather Wright.
Good morning, everybody.
They are some of the biggest mortgage changes in years, aimed at making it easier for young people to buy a home.
This really is about fairness for every generation.
30-year mortgages will now be available for all first-time home buyers and to all buyers of newly built homes. Ottawa is also increasing the cap on insured mortgages from $1 million to $1.5 million. Mortgages with a 30-year amortization are more affordable, with monthly payments significantly less than those that amortize over a shorter period. And by increasing the cap on insured mortgages, more Canadians will be able to bid on more expensive homes. Mortgage insurance for those without the required 20% down payment was previously only available for houses priced at $1 million or less.
Canada needs to get more homes built faster. In order to get those homes built faster, more people need to be there buying them.
While no one measure will solve the housing crisis, the Canadian Home Builders Association says these changes will help.
These types of measures will start the ball rolling, start construction in some cases pretty quickly. Others will take a little bit longer.
But with stress tests already in place that ensure buyers can still pay their debts if interest rates rise, some wonder how many Canadians these changes will actually help.
It sounds good as a political announcement, but in practice with the stress test, how are the average Canadians going to actually qualify for these home purchase prices up to 1.5 million?
The government is also pushing back against concerns these changes will cause home prices to rise even further.
There's a fine line here that if you make the rules too loose, that you can get people into trouble and markets can overheat. But if the rules are too tight, then that's going to slow down new housing constructions.
The federal government is aiming to get 4 million new homes built by 2031, an ambitious target that will need to see annual housing starts double. The changes announced today will come into effect December 15th. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
There is a developing story out of New York tonight. Embattled musician and producer Shawn Diddy Colmes was arrested in the lobby of a Manhattan hotel on unspecified charges. Colmes became the target of a months-long, wide-ranging sex trafficking probe where federal agents executed searches of his homes in LA and Miami. There's new police body cam footage tonight of the suspect accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump, the second such attempt this summer, and fresh concerns about whether the Secret Service has the tools to do its job. It now protects more than 40 individuals, current and former officials, candidates, and families. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbon reports.
Keep walking!
New dramatic police footage of the arrest of the suspected assassin, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh, taken into custody. In court, he was charged with 2 federal gun crimes for now that will keep him in custody while they search for a motive.
We are investigating this matter as an apparent assassination attempt of former President Trump.
Cell phone records show Routh camped outside Trump's West Palm Beach golf course for nearly 12 hours, lying in wait. Armed with an assault-style rifle, a scope, digital camera, and food, his gun barrel was spotted poking out of the bushes by a Secret Service agent who opened fire before the gunman fled.
What we did yesterday proves that the system can work. The suspect didn't even get close to getting a round off.
Investigators say Trump was never in the line of sight, but his golf game was not on the schedule, raising questions. How did the suspect know to be there?
He's a lone gunman. President Trump is that much safer because we have him. But if he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
Routh has a long criminal history involving weapons. 2 years ago, he supported Trump, but called him a disappointment. Passionate about the war in Ukraine, he traveled there to fight.
We are sitting on the fence as far as whether good or evil is going to win.
After a bullet grazed Trump's ear in Pennsylvania in July, he called for political unity, but now blames his opponent Kamala Harris and President Joe Biden for this new attempt on his life, saying because of this communist left rhetoric, the bullets are flying and it will only get worse. Both Harris and the president forcefully condemned political violence.
In America, we resolve our differences peacefully at the ballot box, not at the end of a gun.
Secret Service says Trump has already been receiving the highest level of protection since that first attempt on his life 9 weeks ago. And if the agency needs more help, President Biden is urging Congress to act. Omar?
All right, Joy, thank you. An Ottawa judge found a former high-ranking Navy official not guilty of sexual assault today. Retired Vice Admiral Hayden Edmondson was accused of sexually assaulting a young female soldier during a deployment back in 1991. The complainant said the ruling was hard for her to hear, but that she found healing in the judicial process. Coming up.
What this system does is it helps alert physicians and bedside nurses on the patients who are at highest risk of deterioration or death.
The advanced AI health tool helping doctors save lives. Plus, a life-changing lottery win. TikTok is fighting for survival in the U.S., and today its Chinese parent company argued in court against a ban. ByteDance went head-to-head with the U.S. government, saying it has not shown how TikTok is a security threat. The company also argued that a ban violates the free speech of its 170 million American users. But U.S. lawmakers claim their data is vulnerable to exploitation by China. And back here at home, staff at a Toronto hospital say artificial intelligence is helping to save lives. CTV's Pauline Chan drills down on the data.
Hey Shirley, so it looks like this patient has been identified as high risk by ChartWatch.
ChartWatch uses AI and deep systems learning to learn about patients in real time and flag those at highest risk.
What this system does is it helps alert physicians and bedside nurses on the patients who are at highest risk of deterioration or death within the next 72 hours.
The system was designed specifically with general internal medicine in mind, an area that receives 40% of St. Mike's admissions. The General Internal Medicine Unit is located here at the new Peter Gilligan Tower, and it contains a total of 84 beds.
It's the unit where adults go when they have a medical condition that often maybe people have multiple overlapping medical conditions or common medical conditions that don't fit neatly into a single subspecialty box.
ChartWatch keeps track of more than 100 elements from a patient's medical history and current state.
It could be their vital signs may be abnormal, so their blood pressure might be a little lower or higher. Their blood work might be abnormal with regards to their hemoglobin might be low or high, or their white count might be elevated.
And when it detects a reason for alarm, it goes directly to the health team wherever they are in the building.
We'll get a notification on our phone, on the computer, and then directly to the nurses so that we can prioritize resources to keep the patient safe.
Recent figures show a drop in deaths compared to the period before ChartWatch was implemented.
What we found was that in the period after we deployed ChartWatch, there was a 26% reduction in unexpected deaths during that time period.
ChartWatch is now also used in St. Mike's Surgical Department, as well as at its sister hospital, St. Joseph's. Pauline Chan, CTV News, Toronto.
And still ahead, the first photo of the doomed Titan submersible and the final tragic text. We have a first look at part of the Titan submersible that imploded in the North Atlantic, killing 5 people 15 months ago. It was revealed along with the final text message at a U.S. Coast Guard inquiry that was launched today. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth reports.
Dramatic testimony surrounding the Titan submersible's implosion in June of 2023. All good here was the message moments before the 5-man crew died instantly at a depth of nearly 4 kilometers. Pieces of the sub were found on the ocean floor near the wreck of the Titanic. The U.S. Coast Guard is leaving no stone unturned in its investigation.
If there's any detection of a criminal act, we would make a recommendation to the Department of Justice.
Investigators have learned there were more than 100 reported equipment issues with the Titan dating back to 2021. The former engineering director said OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush, who was killed in the implosion, refused to listen to concerns.
He wanted me to be the pilot that runs the Titanic missions. And I told him I'm not getting in it. And he asked me why, and I said, because the operations crew, I don't trust them.
Tony Neeson said he felt pressured to get the Titan ready for the dive.
We hadn't really gone deep enough, long enough, and we were flexing 37% more, so it was the first warning.
The family of French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet, who died in this tragedy, has filed a lawsuit against the submersible's owner, OceanGate. Dan Riskin says the stakes are huge when it comes to the findings of these hearings.
You've got the personal stakes for the families of the people who died, and of course that's as high as can be. And then there's the question of what do we do with places like the Titanic shipwreck? Are they meant to be left alone?
The U.S. Coast Guard also wants to improve overall safety standards for future private deep-sea underwater exploration. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
A nature photographer on Vancouver Island still can't believe what he captured with his camera. The shot of a harbor seal inside the mouth of a whale was caught while he was on a whale watching excursion off Victoria.
I never even had this as an option. I never knew this was possible. So first time I've ever seen something like this, and yeah, it was quite amazing. Like, we all couldn't believe that happened.
The seal was caught up in a feeding frenzy while the whale was trying to catch a group of small fish, but managed to slide back into the water unharmed. And also lucky, a Northern Ontario couple who landed a massive Lotto win.
Please give a warm welcome.
Jennifer Stewart Flynn and Kyle Murray are cashing in $70 million from a Lotto Max jackpot. The couple, who live in Iroquois Falls, Ontario, recently welcomed a new daughter.
I would like to get some land and build a little farm, set something up that the kids will want to come back to.
I realize that my kids are going to have a way different life than I had growing up. And that's the part that makes me most emotional, is because my kids are set and they will never have to wonder about anything.
Murray says this winning ticket was the first ticket he had ever purchased. But the real prize is that newborn baby. Congratulations to the couple. After the break, breaking a world record in the quest to lure Taylor Swift to Saskatchewan. Swifties in Saskatchewan have broken a world record, hoping to catch the attention of the in-demand global superstar. CTV's Allison Bamford with their plea.
What started as a small idea strung together inside Holly Andrus's apartment.
These ones were cute too.
Stretched into the largest friendship bracelet ever made.
I have a lot of ideas that some of them land, some of them don't.
But this one did, landing end zone to end zone across this football field.
It's thousands, if not tens of thousands of bracelets, if not hundreds of thousands.
Colorful messages woven into a world record. The more than 1,200-meter long bracelet smashing the previous record of 852, all to catch one person's attention.
They're works of art. It's a literal mosaic or a love letter to Taylor Swift, and I think that is so cool.
Trading friendship bracelets is a staple at every Taylor Swift concert. Making this one took all summer and an army of Swifties.
I like making bracelets, and I want to make this a real record.
I was like, if this is going to be a world record, I better put my contributions in.
All part of the push to get Swift back to Saskatchewan, as they say, a province-wide movement sparked by local radio hosts earlier this year.
She could surprise everyone and come visit.
On top of the world record, the radio station is donating $100 for every meter of bracelet to the local food bank, a cause close to the singer's heart.
We know Taylor Swift does that at each era's stop. She makes a significant donation.
But somewhere in the process, the bracelet took on an even deeper meaning.
To find those pockets of time where you can just sit and create and sing your songs and be with people that you love and care about and you have fun with, like, that's medicine.
An invisible string tying friends, families, and fans all together. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Regina.
Maybe Taylor's watching. That's a snapshot of this Monday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow.
CTV National News, Canada's #1 newscast.